Hello. This is the next step in the making the mold for the Grim Reaper Tiki. I did the latex mold over the sculpture, and then I had to do a hard jacket, a mother mold, and I did that in plaster. And because of how complicated the design is, I couldn't just do two halves, the front and the back. The front is just so complicated. So what I did was I didn't get to film it because a lot of the way I figured out how to do the panels I did on the fly. I was having to sit and think for a long time on how I would do the different parts, and then the order that I did them in as well. So because it's an L shape, I was able to do one big part in the back, and the front is so complicated that I had to do the lower parts for the sides and two separate parts in the front, with the dividing line being the scythe handle. And there are some parts that go in so far that I actually had to get some of this cloud clay stuff, which is a really light air drying clay. It's like half of it is air, and when that dries it becomes like a hard rubber substance, kind of like this, and a little bit flexible, and it works. So, and then I got these cardboard tubes that these are really thick. These are not regular paper towel tubes. These are actually made for shipping oils in. So, and these are set so I'll be able to turn it over and it'll be legs. So, and I had to do one panel at a time, and between each panels I took petroleum jelly and I covered it over so each plaster panel would not stick to the next one. And while I was doing it, I would take clay and put it along the side so I would be able to put the plaster up against that, and then after that dried, take the clay off and do the next part. And each one of these edges are flared so that I can take these paper clips and I can put them on there like that, and it will help hold them together. And there'll be several on each join there. Like that. Just all over. Like that. And then they'll be going along here, around here, everywhere there's a joint. So the next part is to see if I actually got enough of the petroleum jelly on there to make sure these come apart. So in some places you can see it's coming out there. Nasty stuff. So now I got to try to pry these apart. So I'll get one of my sculpting tools, this little knife tool here, and just go in there and try not to get in so deep that you're going to hit the latex, because you don't want to poke a hole in that. That stuff will, once a hole gets in it, it will tear. And gotta find where it will. This is going to be fun. Yeah, I did this all yesterday and let it dry overnight, so it's good and solid. Start to get a little bit of give there. But I got to get it to come apart from the bottom as well. And this knife tool has this other tool, kind of hard to see there in front of it. It's sort of a little spoon shape on the end with this bend is not natural. The tool, I bent that quite a bit some time ago, and it has been helpful in not only making the tools or making the sculptures, but in prying apart these things, which I have to break up some of this plaster here. Try to get down in there. Yeah, putting this together is a messy business. So if I can get it to pry apart. It's starting to pry. And I may end up fast forwarding this part. I'm wanting to get this part off first. Starting to come apart. This actually comes apart better than, or easier than the fiberglass resin. Something's starting to move there. There it goes. Yep, see, it comes apart much easier there. And there's enough dips and things where it just makes natural keys to help put it back together. And you can see the stuff there. So let me just set this down. So at least I was able to do it, half of it in one big piece. And now if I can get these other parts to come apart. Actually, probably better to pull them from the bottom here. And I labeled the parts. I just got a black marker. Got B for back, L, R left and right, and the front one, front two. So, yeah, there it goes. There's the base. And the other half of the base. Now I got to get these two parts off. So, and these are the parts with the cloud clay in there, which one of them stayed on, and the other one, it didn't adhere to the plaster, but that's not really a big deal. I would have preferred it, but I could work around that. I can just hopefully be able to just stick that in before I cast it, each one. And here's the last one. There. That one did stay. Yeah, that one actually came out better, easier than I expected. So now is to remove the latex. And let me just zoom in a little bit there. So you can see the Grim Reaper form under there. And I get to peel up from the bottom. One of the problems you got to worry about, I recently really found out about, was make sure you get it on here thick enough. If you don't get it on here thick enough, when you try to pry it off, it will stretch out and won't really fit into the mother mold anymore. It won't be any good. And when you try to put it in, you'll get wrinkles and stuff. So I got to... And this will actually destroy much of the sculpture the way it was done. But hopefully, when I do the casting, because there they are. See, the skulls are coming off like that. They were put together so loosely. I was trying to make them look good in there. So, all right. And I've made these skulls one at a time. More than 30 of them. All right. Thought I had an empty box here. There it is. I can just get them out of the way. Just toss these in here. So it won't get any more contaminated with plaster and stuff, so I can use them later. Alright, and I got a couple of holes for incense in there, and hopefully that came out alright. Incense stick holes are really hard to get done just right. Alright. We want clay in the carpet. peel off. And one thing I'm worried about is this. I didn't get to put mold release on here before I put the latex on, so the handle for the side is actually made of wood. It's a chopstick, and I'm hoping the latex doesn't hold too tight onto it. And my hard part is going to be this wide part. That's going to stretch it a bit. More skulls coming off here. And got all that petroleum jelly on my hands. I gotta get it to let go around the hood here. That's what's holding on. There it goes. Doing it like this, at least the clay is soft enough that it can bend, but it will give you a good indicator of any kind of troubles you'll have demolding the concrete version. There's little things I can get rid of, like these little things there. I can just cut those off. So we're getting to the hood now. Around the end of the scythe. And there you go. We got the Grimm Tiki. Alright. That actually came off easier than I thought, so. Just turn back around, gotta clean this off. Alright, turn them back right side out. I'll clean that off a bit, probably put some powder on there. And make sure this will go back together all right. So, yeah, gotta get all that petroleum jelly off there too. It's gonna be slimy till I get that cleared off, but see, the parts will just go together like that. Actually looks kind of like jaws, or a jaw imprint. And they'll just go together. And the leg, that's actually one of the heaviest parts there. And it'll just all go together like that. Okay, so the next step is to put all this back together, and after I get it cleaned off, and then I will cast another one, and well, I will pour the wet concrete in there and let that sit up. I use the quick setting stuff, and after that I will quick setting stuff is great. I mean, regular concrete you have to wait at least a day, and even then when you demold it, it's kind of tricky. The quick setting stuff, better off 3 hours, and you can demold and just take it out, set it in the sun to dry off, and I give that a day or two, and it's good. So, yep, the next step is the casting. I will be back after that, and I'll demold it for you, and then we'll paint her up.